Don't be afraid to imitate at first and then innovate.
It's how can you make it your own? It's gonna rain today, or you like, it's gonna rain today.
There's always been a theme that I've been doing this for now, coming up to 4 years, the podcast, which is success leaves clues.
Yeah.
And there's a reason you are where you are right now because you've probably picked up on those clues along the way. Like, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Be yourself, be authentic, and we'll talk about all that stuff. But at the end of the day, someone's done what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, you hitting big stages, well, you're not the only person who's doing that right now. And there's been millions of people.
Absolutely.
Right? You figured out, hey, this is the way to book me. And, like, these are the talks that I want to do. So to everyone who's listening and watching right now, don't be afraid to imitate at first and then innovate. I think it's a great strategy because it can start to cut down the curve in learning. But I want to jump somewhere else with you because
let's jump.
Yeah, you put yourself out there on social. Like,
do.
I mean, I'm not saying anything that's private because you put yourself on, like, you do, like, you show yourself like crying and in certain like hard moments. For myself, I'm on the flip side of that. Not because I don't think it's a right move. It's just not who I am.
Yeah.
I'm very private. Like, nobody really knows that I have kids and I'm married. I talk about it here, but nobody really sees them. But how did you like get started with that? Like, were you always okay to put yourself out there? I think it's awesome because I got to know you more. Like, I got to hear your voice, your thoughts, again, because of Clubhouse, because I didn't get to see you. I never really saw, other than this, little profile pic of yours. I didn't really know how you looked and how you moved and stuff. Right. And so hearing you, I was like, all right, this fucking girl has a cool story and she's confident. I can hear that she's been doing this. She wants to help people, but you never really spoke about it on Clubhouse. But then I see a lot of stuff on your social. Were you always okay to be vulnerable and put yourself out there? That's tough for a lot of people. Like, where did that come about?
Was I always that way? Absolutely not.
Okay.
Definitely not. I wanted to be a TV host, and to get into that avenue, I went through the world of a lot of auditions and pageants and dance. And so many of those have these irrational ideas of what perfection looks like in terms of how you say and how you speak and what your body looks like. Like, there was legitimately a time in my life where I would go work out at the gym with my trainer and I would be physically put underneath a spotlight. And that spotlight was meant to show if I had any cellulite whatsoever, because that would mimic the lights of a studio or the lights on a stage.
How old are
and they weren't, I was 16 or 17.
Fuck, that's a lot of pressure.
But I looked at it from a very, I really didn't look at it from like there's something wrong with me. A little bit, for sure.
There must have been times where you got like, fuck. Like,
well, I'll tell you this though, is that it made me look at fitness from like a more, like, again, detached perspective, where there was a part of me that I was pissed that I wasn't born that way. But I really looked at it from the lens of just, this is what it takes. This is what you need to do if you want to win, if you want to get cast, because that was just the reality. If you don't want to win, go do something else. But at that time, you would not see people of all shapes and sizes on magazine covers or on TV screens or any of that. There's just one kind of way and one kind of body type. And my hope was, well, maybe if I at least get that opportunity, that I can start transforming people's minds and brains about what that looks like. So I at that point in life was so set on being perfect. And even now, a lot of people know me as having the signature shoe of sneakers.
Yeah.
At that point in my life, I would not be caught dead leaving the house without heels on. I had a blog called Sprinting in Stilettos. I would never let anyone see me without full hair and makeup. It just would not ever happen. And so it was something that had to be chipped away and unlearned. And that's what a lot of you need to be doing, is this unlearning. And at the time, like, it was just so competitive. It was so cutthroat in every single arena. So it was really difficult for any of that to even show through. But what was starting to happen in the hosting world is something that has now hit a lot of professionals and even a lot of professional speakers, where in the hosting world, they really wanted personalities. They really wanted personal brands. They really wanted experts. Like, I was getting taught about personal brands when I was 21 years old. So 15 years ago is when I first heard about, what's your brand? What's your brand? And so I thought it was something that I had to manufacture. I didn't realize it was something that I was just simply living in and existing in. But what they would do, and I thought about this the other day, and I want to even give it to my clients as an assignment. They would give us scripts really similar. And if you're a professional and you're like, what are you talking about? This is going to apply to you. Just wait for it. So they would give us scripts during every hosting class, and they would give you the assignment of, I want you to make this script your own, meaning for your brand. So let's just say, the weather. I know that you guys do Celsius and we do Fahrenheit. But regardless,
Sure.
let's just say that the weather calls for a chance of rain.
Okay.
How would you make that weather report your own?
Got it.
Meaning, what do you think of the rain? And also, what does your audience think about the rain? So let's just say, for example, that I'm the audience who I'm talking to, the audience who I'm thinking about, it's families or it's moms specifically. Okay, moms, it's going to rain tomorrow. That means you got to make sure that you prep all of the rain boots and the raincoats and whatever for your kids. Like, get the dogs, make sure that they're leashed up.
It's a really
so
cool assignment.
Versus someone who maybe their audience is millennial females and all they do is sit at home and watch Netflix. Hey girls, it's going to rain. So basically you're not going to leave your house for the next week.
Great day to Netflix.
How are you? Right. Yeah. Exactly. Or don't chill because you just want to be on your own. Like, that's fine.
Oh, I love that one. Yeah.
So it's how can you make it your own?
Okay.
And that's what I want to challenge anyone listening on whenever you're going to do a video, whenever you're going to talk about something in business, is how do you make it your own? If I gave you a headline, how are you making it your own? Both you personalizing it with your own spin, your own opinion, whether you're changing the words around to still be truth, but make sense to you, or you're adding a reaction to it where you're like, it's going to rain today. Or you like, it's going to rain today. Which means, like, for me, I'm going through, I love the song Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield, where it's feel the rain on your skin, guys. Like, no one else can feel it for you. So it's that's little microgasms of finding your voice. And it's figuring out what do you think about this? How do you interpret this? And how does the person who you want to talk to, how do they need to be receiving this? And that's also one more level of confidence that you can unlock. That's the part of confidence that relies on connection. When you're connected in a conversation and you truly feel like you are being seen and heard and vice versa, you're not in your head. You're not wondering, what am I thinking about? What am I going to say next? What does my hair look like? You're in it. You're fully there and you're fully present. And so finding ways where you can connect and create that sense of connection, even if someone isn't physically there in that moment, that too is going to make you more present, more intentional, and more confident.
If you found that video valuable and you want to watch the full discussion, click here for my podcast. If you want to watch more videos, click here.